Hi, yeah. This is your boy, Ayodele today, and I have some panel of judges here. They're about to ask me some few questions on photography and all that, and how to succeed in the business of photography. And it's my pleasure to answer their question with Mr. Malik and Yusuf, and alongside Daniel. So the floor is open for you guys, please. You have the question now, Barry. They will answer they will ask their question.
Good evening, Mr. AY Sumo.
Okay, yeah, evening.
I'm Malik, one of the co-worker.
Okay.
The question I have for you this evening is, what kind of chair do you use?
What kind of,
chair do you use?
is it gear or gear?
Gear.
Gear. Okay, fine. Yeah, we're talking about gears. There are various kind of gears, and I use the three brands of gears in particular. I mean, when you talk about camera, because gears are varieties. When you're talking about gears, you can say trigger, you can say the speed light, you can say the studio light, you can talk about the C stand, you can talk about the reflector. Those are gears. But in particular, to be specific, when you're talking about gears, in terms of camera, I use the three various kinds of cameras. I use Sony, I use Nikon, I use Canon, because in this part of our world here, we have this kind of thing that photographers, they come and tell you, Canon is the best, and Sony is the best, and Nikon is the best. So anyone talk about Bewa, I was ready for what you get. So I will buy it. You have come to win the game. So question answered.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure the question is answered?
Yes,
Do you still have a sub question under that one?
Yeah, I still have a sub
Okay.
question, but my colleagues are...
Okay, thank you. So, please.
Okay, my name is Yusuf.
Okay.
I'm a co-worker of yours. So, may I also ask you,
Okay.
like, what is the one thing you think, like, you wish?
Well, please hold on. Are you giving him your question to ask me? Is with your phone. You should ask your question. Have your question on your head. Question that needs to affect you. That you need a solution because you have questions. Simbalo Bill Gates, I have questions for him. For instance, I can ask Bill Gates, if I have opportunity to sit with Bill Gates, I will ask him one question, that please, how do you get to this stage? How, just give me breakdown, how, so that I will use the same principle. I don't want to follow a man that does not know how he got to the fourth floor. He just say, I just got there by grace. No, I know there is grace. You get what I'm saying now? How did you use lift or did you use staircase? Because there are some obstacles, there are some barricades that you must have observed while trying to go up and staying up. There are two things in this life. Trying to go up can be very easy, and staying up is more difficult. So how were you able to keep, at the top, even in the 90s up to the 20s? Okay, so give me questions that has to do with.
Okay, my question is, when you study photography, what is the one thing you think you wish to become, like, when you started? There are some things you are failing to in photography.
Okay. Okay, which I wish to become, right? Okay, yeah, like every businessman, I have a dream of expansion and multiplication and being fruitful. So now, that originated question is not something you copy, you understand? So it's good you have a good original question. You see what I'm saying? So now one thing, not even one thing, there are so many things, but let me just point out a few ones. One is that what I'm looking forward is to have as much studios right here in Nigeria first. Only anything about winning he cannot win the battle outside. So what I want to do first, that I have in mind first, is to have at least in each of the states in Nigeria, populated states precisely in Nigeria, I should have like 5 studios and the main best cities in Nigeria. Now, the idea was to train up young guys, young, vibrant guys, jam bites, that the jam are beating their lives. They have, you know, I've seen it in there that this guy is ready. You know, most time when you pick some people on the street and you try to help them, after some times they feel, I don't know, I need to go to school and all that. You get what I'm saying now? So what we have in mind was, okay, this one who has been beaten and he has been battered by jam, and he has felt, I think this way is not working. That's the people we are looking for. Now let me go into entrepreneur. He comes to learn. After he learns, maybe for like a year or two, we'll give him our principle. He knows how to run it, and what we just do is that we establish the guy. We'll give him a particular studio to manage. If he has done well, we'll keep him off the apprenticeship level, and we'll push him to the management level, and we tell him, okay, manage this studio, deliver so amount of money. So what we're trying to do is that to get as much as young guys. Well, that's what I was trying to, I'm giving you a breakdown. I don't want to go straight to the point. Now, we'll get as much of those guys and push them to town. We have various kinds of studio. It might not be a mega studio per se. We could have a well affordable standard studio, at least a studio that you can come into and you feel relaxed, you feel at home. You come in and get your very good, lovely shot and go. So what I was looking forward to is something like that of Studio 24. That was a massive thing that was on my mind when I saw that guy is a good entrepreneur and he has the money. So we're looking forward to something like Studio 24. And another one is to be a world-class photographer that travels all the way of Africa, Europe, get to snap a lot of weddings, even particularly in Europe, doing Italy, France, Spain, you know, all those places. So a good photography like that of Alakija, Jide Odukoya, you know, the likes of them, like that. So cool. Question answered?
Yeah.
Sharp. Cool. The question, bro.
My name is Michael Daniel.
Yeah, Michael.
My question is, I want to know your challenges.
Go.
Major challenges when you started this new business.
Wow. Wow, that's a crazy one, you know. The challenges are, they are normal. It's not a challenge. It's when you see it as a challenge. There is no business you're going to start today and does not have challenges. No, so challenges to me is not a challenge. It is as if you are in a class. You want to write, you want to get promoted to the next level, the next phase of your class. You know, you can't be in primary 4 and you want to go to primary 5 and you just meet yourself there. You ask every student, do every student like exam? For them it's looking like a challenge. There's only few students that will tell you exam is not a challenge. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying now? Now, only few students will look at it and say, they will embrace exam. You understand? So just like the way the work is, when I see challenges, I embrace it. I see it like, wow, this is another movement. You get what I'm saying now? So challenges to me is not a challenge. It's like a stepping stone to get to the next phase of the business. So you get what I'm saying? Try to check. Check. Is anybody there? Okay, okay. So it's just to get to the next phase of to promote to the next level of your business. Because you can't expect to be in GS2 when you want to go to GS3. They have to test your capacity to know what you have learned in GS2, that were you able to put them into practice, were you able to read, were you able to do assignments, or you come and sit down and write the exam and move to the next class. Even your dad is the principal of the school, you still have to sit down and write it. You get what I'm saying now? So challenges is a step to your next. So I don't see it as challenges, I see it as a step. So it's not a challenge. But I still need to tell you, there are some ones that you see that might overwhelm you. For instance, let me just give you one brief one, because every businessman would not tell you the full truth. Now, one that makes me like I have to sit up, yeah, is that if you lost somebody's file, you lost a file. So ever since then, I overcome that. How do you lose file? Maybe carelessness of, maybe you don't have a very good backup. One, two, some things happen. This digital world, you understand? Okay, you just plug your card into the system that you just browse with, and some firewalls or fire mails come inside of the system, and those things are virus that has been built by the people that makes antivirus, because these guys are the same people that release the virus. Do you understand? They build up the virus, they send it on internet. When time you open it, it comes into your Microsoft and all your, when you plug in your cards, they know everybody they can disseminate it to. When you plug in your cards, the virus come in and eats your files. So they now bring out the advert of their antivirus. Okay, this is Kaspersky. I don't want to mention it. We are on public this thing here. So they just bring out the social antivirus. Please, antivirus can cure so and so. So when they brings out this antivirus and you need to solve your own problem, you buy it. You understand? So these are the same guys that build the virus. They build the antivirus for them to sell their products. Okay. So when you lost files, it looks as if your mind is at the brim of the Red Sea. You can't find the files. You buy recovering files. You give engineers. You can't sleep. The worst part of it is that you went for a wedding, God forbid, a wedding job, a wedding snap, and you are the only photographer. You took the pictures. You just get home only for you to, let's even leave the virus case, only for you to copy the card. You are so tired. You left the card. You knew you left the card somewhere on your shelf or so. Okay, just for you to reach on the card and copy it, you can't find the card. So what do you do to that? So now, is that a challenge? Will you call that challenges? All you need to do is to sit down and plan yourself very well. When you come back, you'll be disciplined. Get the card into the system, copy the job. However you are tired, make sure the job is copied. You understand? So those are the things you grow. That's why I said challenge. That's not a challenges. It's just for you to outgrow it. You understand? So question answered. Okay, Mr. Malik, your question.
Okay, thank you, sir. In photography,
Yeah.
we have different types of
Mind you, you can still get in your questions because I like your questions. That's fine.
same question.
Yeah.
Like there are different types of people using different types of tools,
Okay.
different types of camera.
All right.
And the main question I wanted to ask is this: whenever you are snapping,
Please, can you come again with your question? I was trying to calculate some stuff in my
let me
head.
just put the question.
Straight up now. Thank you.
Like, what is your favorite place when you're snapping? As in, the favorite place you like place whenever it comes to snapping.
Okay, yeah. My favorite lens when I use in taking pictures, I mean, in random form, is 70 to 200. In reverse case, in that is 24 to 70. Sorry to say 24 to 70. That's what I meant. Okay, 24 to 70 is a very good lens. It's not a kit lens. It's a professional lens. It's a standard lens that handles portrait, that handles, I mean, all kind of shot that has to do with a commercial photography. When I mean commercial photography, a photographer that does all kinds of photography, products, baby, wedding, studio, portraits, and lots more. So now 24 to 70 will give you a good portrait. In between 24 to 70, you have 35 mm, you have 50 mm, and you have your 70, which is a better angle for portrait. Then the 24 is a wide angle as well, if you have inserted it on a full frame camera. By the way, full frame camera is a full. Now you're going to ask the question. You're going to ask the question because now when we are conversing, this is how question comes. So you note your questions down. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So a full frame camera is different from a crop sensor. I'm not going to answer that now because you're about to ask me the question. So I'm going to pause that. so that you will go and ask me and I'll give you a full details of it. So when you fix your lens 24 to 70 f2.8, that's the aperture of the lens, because any 24 to 70 lens, which is a professional lens, has the aperture of f2.8. okay, so when you fix it in a full frame camera, you see more, you have more view, and you have more, I mean, you have more depth of field and all that in it. So it's a very perfect lens that I go with. I mean, I can do, only with that lens I can do a full wedding coverage. I don't have to be changing lens, and it's very crazy to be changing lens and weddings. I mean, I don't feel comfortable with it, trying to change lens. You know, it takes a whole lot of time when you're taking group of people. You want to take a portrait of a bride now, you use your 50mm or 35mm, and within a second you are asked to take the bride with the family and some siblings, and you have like 10 people and you're having 50mm. Doesn't mean you have to get to the end of the wall before you take them. No. So if you have your 24 to 70, all you just do is to zoom out your wild and take the pictures and go with your stuff. So I prefer 24 to 70. Is a master lens for photography as a commercial photographer in full terms.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, my question is about in this job photography.
Yeah.
There's some problems we undergo, like
There are some what?
problems we undergo.
For what?
Problems.
Problems. Call it challenges. We don't have problems.
There's some problems like that, of which I see there's some machines that do make some error, which makes you somehow frustrated. How do you overcome it?
Errors. And can you break it down? Errors in what sense?
In some settings.
Defaults.
Yeah.
Is it settings or now? Don't call it machines. Your gears. You must know. You must know what to call. There is a terms in photography. You don't use the general terms. You must understand the terms. So I'm going to give you an assignment now. That when you get home, go home, get home, checks out the terms photography use, the use of photography terms in photography. Like, what is this thing called? You can't call this thing. You can't say this thing is a white cloth. You understand what I'm saying? For instance, this is called a diffuser. Why is diffuser? Is that the light is penetrating through it, so it's going to diffuse it. It's going to make it soft. The entire of this is called soft box. The content here is diffuser. There's another layer inside of this. So now I'm only trying to get you on a normal. So you don't call it machines, call it gears, like your colleague have asked now on the gears. So now the gears, you were saying sometimes they give default settings.
Yeah, for sure. Like they will make some, maybe it's break down in some cases.
Okay.
Without working, you don't know how to
set it.
Yeah, how do you overcome such stuff?
Yeah, first things first, when you get your gears, I think you need to, it's a new gear, it's not something you've been using before. You understand? You need to get the manual, and of these days we don't read manuals. Even things you don't know, when you get it, you don't want to read the manuals because you feel you will know it. You understand? While you are on the process, which is madness. Now you should read the manuals and all those stuff. But there is no time for that. Reading the whole of that book is crazy. It's crazy. So it's advisable, get on the gears, start using it. Then few things that you don't understand, I will advise you to go on YouTube and check. There is no problem you are looking for on your gears that you bought that is rampant. I mean, that does not have YouTube, somebody that has solved the problem. So when the gears is giving you default, now let me get the question right. Is it that is damage or is a default setting? Because any default setting, so that's why you need to learn it. You learn everything you buy, you have to learn it. There's no point. If you buy it, you don't learn it, you don't know it. Now, the way this flash is bought to when we bought it, they can't set it for you the way you'll be using it, because the manufacturer wouldn't know the size of your studio or what you want to do with it. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So you have your own purpose. So what you just do is that if you don't really know much about it, you go on YouTube and make founders as much as you can. And when you get it, when you have found it, when you see it, save the video, watch it like 2 or 3 times, then practice with it. Because most time when you just jump on it and you felt you've known it, the day you will need it, you might be there sweating and still trying to, you get what I'm saying, trying to, how about learning set, I should know how to set it. You get what I'm saying now? I should know how to set, no. So go on YouTube, get to know about it very well, practice it, work with it, make sure you do a lot of work with it almost every day, so that even in your dream, you can still use it. When I mean in your dream, okay, for instance, they called you, and please, you are not in the office, and they called you, please, like for instance, we bought 600 MB, a good speed light. Now one day I just pressed there's what called HSS, iSync. Yeah, I pressed it, and I bought the flash. When I pressed it, I was pressing my trigger, it wasn't flashing until I had to like, why is this thing bad? Has it got into, is it damaged? Let me know what happened. So I just stumbled on the arrow and I pressed it. It came back to the normal multiple snapping. So you need to get to know it, your tools, get familiar with it. Yeah, that's it. Question answered? Oh, question, Mr. Mike, thank you. You're supposed to have prepared your question before I come to you. If I'm the president of Nigeria and I have a press conference like this and I point to you as a press guy working for CNN and you are trying to break down a switch because we don't have time, we have, you get what I'm saying? So please ask your question, please.
Okay, Mr. Ayodele. Actually, I would like you to tell us what motivates you into this business.
Okay, yeah. What is the motivation? Yeah, I started from the childhood. Now, most time when I'm back from school, mainly after school hour, immediately after school hour, I don't have friends, I don't keep friends. It's not like I don't have friends. In school, we do school. When I'm out of school, I'm out of school. I just dashed in the studio. Now, as I dashed in the studio, the owner of the studio is my mom. So I have no place to go. The studio is like home, and the home is like studio. You get what I'm saying now? So now, it wasn't really that I was motivated partially. It's as if you grew up hearing your mother language. When you taught your mother language, oh, okay, go. So you answer the fellow, ne? No, you're not taught your mother language. You were just growing and you picked up. So it is something I was going to the studio every day, just like that. So every day I close from school, I get to studio. I see what is happening. Tomorrow, the same thing. Tomorrow, the same thing. So one a good day like that, a very good day. Mama was not around. On a Sunday, Mama was not around. We have a camera. There's a film inside it. The film inside it is cool. And we have some clients. They came into the studio on a Sunday. We want to take pictures. The first one came. Oh, sorry, Mama is not around. Mama is not around. A young boy. I was a very young boy. To be frankly with you, I was not aware of what I was doing. They told me this story, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, no, listen, Mama is not around. We can take pictures now. So after a few days, after a few hours, another client came in. We want to take pictures. I said, oh shit, this one is not going. I can take you, come in, just come in. You get what I'm saying? That's how it started. Come in, I will take you. Is it not picture? I will take you. Now the word is okay now. You can take the picture and see it at the back of the camera. Okay? You can see it in your cell phone. You see what I'm saying? Then you take picture. You have to be mathematical. You are taking pictures. You are not seeing anything. The film is inside the camera. You are going to set the aperture based on the lighting that is available. You must have known the lighting in your studio, the capacity of your lighting. So I just picked up the camera anyway. If your speed changes, God help you, you discover it on time. You know what I mean? You know, if your speed changes, what happened is blank. You're going to have a blank. You get what I'm saying now? So God helps you, you discover the speed. So everything when you are taking with that camera is an analog camera. You check it at every point in time. Lest your hand or your eye doesn't douse any of the button. Okay, so I just picked the camera, I snapped, and I make some good amount of money that day. That was how it began. Wow. When she came back, like, you took pictures, how much is the money? It was a lot of money. A whole lot of money. Say, wow, this guy, you're good, man. Okay, so I just picked up from there. So I developed some skills, and you know, like, oh, you have to be crazy. And I was picking up some, you get what I'm saying now? I was picking up some crazy attitude. For instance, if I'm taking some pictures in the studio, I developed it. Like I told you, did you learn your mother language? You grow into it, right? So I grew into it. Just gradually grow into it. So now I picked up some skills, like you have to be dramatical when you are taking the picture, so that whoever the subject you are snapping can feel, you know, alive. Okay, so that's just it. And was that the question? That's the answer. Sharp. Next question. Hey, question please. We don't have time. We have limited time, man. Question please.
The other time we talked about frameless camera.
Okay, frame.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I really want you to
Expatiate on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now quick one. Full frame camera and crop sensor. The crop sensor is, let me just give you instance. The crop sensor is something where you are looking at through this and down. When you are looking the viewfinder or through the back screen, the screen of the camera is like this, the crop sensor. The full frame is like this. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying now? A full frame camera has more view. Huh? Now, when you put a lens of 24 to 70 and you are here with a crop sensor, is in a crop sensor camera, you fix it in and you're going to sit here, you're going to stand here to take a picture. You can only see from here to this place. Do you understand? So if it's a full frame, yeah, now it's leverage on its capacity. You will see from here to this place. Do you understand? Let's assume you put a 50mm now, a 50mm full frame in a 50mm lens in a full frame camera. You can take 4 people standing here in a portrait format. Are you with me? Four people can stand here. But if you put it in a crop sensor, you can't take one person full. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the differentiate. That's the difference. The difference is that the full frame one, it sees more, it has more view. Does it make sense? No, a full frame camera is more expensive one. That's one way you know it. Now when you want to buy it, you make reviews, it's always written there. You understand what I'm saying? It's always written on the APS. The APS is what identifies the full frame. The full frame is like, they will tell you this is a crop sensor camera. It's a full frame camera. Just like you want to buy your phone, they will tell you, how do you know your phone is 12 megapixel? They will tell you this phone has 12 megapixels. So it's always written that this camera is a crop sensor and is a full frame. So it's assignment for you. What was your assignment? Terms in photography. Assignment for you is that you go and check the difference between full frame and crop sensor, so that you could understand what I'm explaining to you. Do you understand? You might get to it, and the first one you don't understand, go on YouTube, let them speak to you more often about it. You understand what I'm saying now? It's very, very easy. It's not hard. It's explainable. Now, the full frame is more expensive than the crop sensor. The enrichment difference. Hmm? Yeah. There is a crop sensor. This Sony is a crop sensor. There's a camera there. This is a crop sensor, 6300. Sony A6300 is a crop sensor. Now you want to know a full frame camera. You see Sony A7 Mark III, Sony A7 Mark II, Sony A7R3, A7R2, A7R4. Those are full frames camera. So just what you do is that you go online, type what is the difference, or what are the difference between full frame and crop sensor. Do you understand? Crop sensor. Now the full frame can as well work as crop sensor. In other words, you can go to a setting and put it to be crop. Okay, cool. Question answered. Okay, you have one more question to go.
Actually, my question depends on the camera on taking some pics.
Michael, you're getting ready with your question. Oh, you're tired, no problem.
My question is
That means don't come ask me a question again. Oh. That means you know everything. You will come and sit here and I'm going to ask you a question. You understand what I'm saying now? Now I lecture in the class.
Because we are recording, so I think this should be limited time.
No, then I want to answer a question. You see, there are people you are watching on YouTube. They will be affecting your brain. I've watched some guys, Donald Trump. The guy, that's why he's a stupid animal. You call people to sit down and ask him questions. Then he has the answer already for the question he wants to answer them. So ask your question, please.
Okay, my question is about taking some pictures. Does it depend on the camera or the lens you use, or depends on the two of them, the both?
Okay.
Like you're using a camera of 5D and take 50 mm lens, or you're using 750 camera on a lens that is 150 mm. Does it depend on?
Okay, yeah. First is the camera is just the camera. It's the man behind the cameras that makes it the camera. You get what I'm saying? But now, when a good tire meets a good road, you know what happened. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, you know. So now, the whole sense is that let anybody not deceive you that you don't need to buy a good camera. It's a bloody liar from the pit of hell. If you are good, your goodness will have purchased you a good camera. Do you understand? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So don't let anybody tell you to travel by road is better than flight. Can you qualify it? No. You get what I'm saying now? So don't justify it. If you have a good camera, so you get a good camera. But if you want to break it down now, let me help you with a question. Now, what makes a better photograph? Is it the camera or the lens? Now, I'll tell you it is the lens that makes a better photograph. You can have a rotten camera. You can have a rotten that is rotten to the core. Then when you have a very good superb lens, you're going to deliver good quality. You understand what I'm saying? Now, have you not seen these sport guys that most time they always have this small tiny camera and their lens is quite bigger than the camera. The lens can buy 10 times of the camera. Have you not seen that before? There is a lens that is called okay, is that called? There's a lens, Nikon lens, I think it's 50 mm, is 1.2. 1.2, that's the aperture, f1.2. What that stands for is that you don't need this flashlight. You don't need this light. You need a candle light to take picture with that lens. When you insert that lens in 750D Canon, snap a picture with it, you are going to deliver quality. Do you get what I'm saying now? Now, another dimension is that if you put that same lens in 5D Mark IV, the quality you are going to get will be more superb than the 750. But in other words, when you do your lighting, your composition very well, you can almost get the same results. But in terms of the megapixel and the exposure and everything, you get what I'm saying, you get more, you get what I'm saying now. So what makes a photograph in terms of the camera and the lens, if you want to quantify, I think is the lens. The lens will give you the quality of the pictures you want. Okay, Mr. Mike, guess you don't have a question, so you're going to be on this seat. We're going to ask you a question. Everybody's going to be here. We're going to ask them questions.
So I asked you, like, I would like you to tell us the first experience, when you firstly start this business, your first experience. What gave you the actually idea to move ahead?
And you've asked this question. That was a question you asked, yes. That's what inspired me, the first experience. It's like you are saying, is this fun? Can this be fun? Do you understand? So you're just interchanging the question. I guess you don't have a question. Mr. Malik, please. You're going to sit down here. You're going to be the first to sit down here. You've got to ask your question. Okay, Mr. Malik, your question.
Yeah, Mr. Malik, I have more questions to
Okay.
ask you.
Yeah, Ajay, you want to get a question?
Yeah. I have two questions at the time.
Oh,